Have you struggled to create routines in your home and your homeschool because you don't know where to start, or your kids are pushing back and they don't want to do them? Well, in today's video, I will give you 5 practical steps you can take to create routines that you and your kids will love. And by the end of this video, you will have the confidence to establish better routines in your home and have a better rhythm and flow to your homeschool day. Let's get into it. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Iman, and I help Muslim moms homeschool with confidence and joy while having routines and systems to stay on top of their home management and doing all that without sacrificing your own self-care. So this video is part of a whole series called Routines for Peaceful Rhythm. And in this series, I show and I break down the exact routines that I use for my home and my homeschool. From morning routine to night routine to quiet time routine. I share with you exactly how I do it and also how you can implement the same. So if you're interested in this series, make sure you check out the whole playlist down in the description box. So I've had this question keep coming up over and over again in my emails, in my DM with Instagram. And the question is, how do I create homeschool and home routines that my kids will actually do? Like, what do I do if my kids are not doing it and they're pushing back? So in this video, I'm gonna share with you practical steps that you can actually take today to help you better implement routines in your home and your homeschool that your kids will actually do. So for me, I have a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And I have been training my kids in doing our daily homeschool and home routine. I actually started at a young age. It is not perfect every day. I'm always reviewing them and changing them, and I still have to remind them sometimes, but my kids know exactly what's expected from them at certain parts of the day. And so it's never too late to start creating routines in your house and in your homeschool and getting your kids on board on what these routines are. It is easier when your kids are young to train them, but if you do have older kids and you are just starting to create routines for your home and your homeschool, you can still do it. You just have to get them on board and you have to explain to them why this change is happening. All about open communication with your kids and a partnership. You really have to be open with them, explain to them what this change is, what's going to be different, and then work with them closely to start implementing these new routines in your home and your homeschool. And so before we get started, I have a free resource for you that you can use to create routines. And this is a free guide to help you create the 10 most important routines that every family should have to have a better flow to their home and their homeschool days. And so if you're interested in getting that free guide, make sure you check out down below so it can help you out more as you create the routines for your own family. Okay, so let's get into the 5 practical steps that you need to know to start creating routines that your family actually loves and will do. Number 1, you have to have a family meeting or some sort of meeting and sit down with your kids and your husband. And so this is just to sit down with your kids and your husband to talk about why you are creating routines. Why are routines needed in your home and your homeschool? What is the benefit that it would bring? And so through this meeting and conversation, this will help to hear out your children, what they think, their opinion, especially if they're older. And through talking and open conversation, you can get your children and your husband on board on creating routines. And this family meeting is so important, ladies, because you cannot create and implement routines by yourself. It is a family effort. So you need your kids on board, especially if they're older, and you need your husband on board. And so you can choose a day that works for your family and tell your family ahead of time and just have a sit down and just talk about what's working in your home and your homeschool and what's not. And then bring up the idea of having better routines and see what your kids and your husband think about it. And from there, come up with a plan on what routines you will create based on the need for your family. And this leads me to point number 2, which is create routines that matter to your family. And so in my free guide, I talk about the 10 routines that I think every family should have. And so when you're reviewing that guide, figure out which one of the 10 is very important to your family right now. Which one of the routines, if you start doing, will have the biggest impact in your day in a positive way? Which one will give you a better flow to your day and less stress for you and your kids? The other thing is you can think about what your goal is for your kids at this moment of your life. Do you want your kids to be able to get ready on their own in the morning? Do you want your kids to be able to help out with dinner? Do you want your kids to be able to do chores, Figure out what's important for your family and build a routine around that. And this is important because once you know what matters to your family and what your family needs, it will keep you accountable. And hopefully it will keep you doing the routine day after day because you know it benefits your family. Step number 3 is have clear expectations for your kids through creating checklists for them. Now that you know which routine you want to work on based on your day and the problem area that you want to fix, now you have to sit down and figure out what is your goal for that specific time of the day. For example, if you want to work on creating a morning routine for your kids, the goal is you want your kids to be able to wake up and be ready and dressed all by themselves. And so now you have to think about what are the exact steps that your kids have to do to get from waking up to being ready and dressed and ready to take on the day. Once you know those steps, and we all know them and they're in our head, you have to make sure you write them down and create some sort of checklist for your kids to be able to see and actually do the tasks needed to complete that routine. And so I recommend doing this through Canva, which is a free graphic software, and they have many checklists in there that you can create for your routine. If you are part of my community, I actually provide all of my routines and all my checklists to my community member in my community Amana Circle. So if you're interested in joining my community in the future, or if you want to know more information about it, check out the link in the description. But you can easily create a checklist for each of your kids on what you want them to do through Canva. And then once you have created the checklist and you have explained to them what's expected from them and lay out the expectation, then you have to work with them and train them in doing their routine. If they are young, you're gonna have to do the routine step by step with them until they can eventually, as they get older, be able to do it on their own. But if you have an older child, you just show them the checklist, explain to them what they have to do, and they most likely can do it on their own, and you just follow up with them. The other reason why having clear expectations and laying out a clear list of tasks they have to do through a checklist is important is because it causes everybody to be on the same page. You as the mom know what they have to do, and the child knows what's expected from them. So hopefully when everybody's on the same page, the routine will be done in an easier manner without any reminding or yelling. And so let me know down below in the comments if you have any routines created, or if you have no routines created, or if you have some. So let me know where you are on the spectrum of routines in your home and your homeschool. Step number 4 is start slow in creating each routine. Do one at a time. And so once you figure out the problem area in your home and your homeschool, and you start creating a routine for that area, then what you should do is just focus on doing that one routine day in and day out. Figure out what's working, change things up, and keep focus on doing that routine until you get consistent at it and your kids know how to do it and you know how to do it, and don't add anything else. I recommend not adding another routine until you have done that one routine at least a month, 3 to 4 weeks. And so this time of just focusing on one routine at a time will allow your kids to learn the routine and memorize the steps and what they have to do. And it will allow you as well to know what you should do in that routine of your day. And so once that routine becomes natural and a habit, then you can think about adding another routine in your home and your homeschool. This way, it will decrease the overwhelm of starting something and not finishing it. So with routines, you really have to do one at a time. Do one, get really good at it. Your kids know what to do, you know what to do before you add on another one. And step number 5, once you create routine, the job is never done. Always have to reevaluate your routines to see if it's working or not. And this is because life is constantly changing. Your kids are growing up, your babies are growing up, and they start to be more independent, they can do things more, or your baby needs more help, and things just start changing in your home and your homeschool. And like life, you have to always reevaluate and figure out what's working and what's not working. And so always keep an eye out on your routines for your home and your homeschool. And have a time in your week where you sit down and you reflect on the week to see what's working. I do this on my Sunday reset, where I sit down and I'm planning for my home and my homeschool. And that's when I think about my routines. What's working, what's not working. Do I have a child that's not sleeping so I cannot do my nighttime routine? Am I exhausted in the morning so I can't wake up in the morning to do my morning routine? Maybe I should sleep in. So you can always change things around to fit your life as your life changes. Routines are things that change with your life. They're malleable, they move around, okay? They are there to help you make your life easier and less overwhelmed. And so if you're finding a routine is stressing you out and it's just not working, you can just drop that routine, or you can reevaluate that routine based on what exactly it is. And so in this action step, choose one day of the week that you're gonna sit down and evaluate your routines in your home and your homeschool. If you found value in this video, make sure you check out my playlist of all the important routines that I have in my home and my homeschool. These routines really help me, give me a peaceful flow and rhythm to my day. And so if you're interested in creating your own routines, make sure you check out this playlist on the screen right now to help you out.